If you knew me before this COVID stuff, I'd be getting my nails done. Hello. Ego Diana here. Welcome back to EGO Initiative, where we practice self-care on a higher level because we know that we are our most valuable assets. Now, when I talk about higher level, I mean beyond the maintenance stuff, which is what a lot of folks think about when they are referring to self-care. So for today's Wellness Wednesday chat, I am going to be sharing with you my definition for self-care. Self-care is, in fact, a lifestyle. It's not just a set of products or workout routine or a particular type of service that you receive at intervals of your life. Now, I want to preface this conversation by saying, obviously, right now we're going through a lot of things. 2020, like I said in the previous video, by the way, if you haven't watched the previous video, you should definitely go watch it. I'm going to link it somewhere up here or up here. Definitely give that a listen because that really talks about what it's like to take care of yourself in these times. In these times, we are experiencing a lot of different things, from, a global pandemic to, resurfacing of police brutality and all the things that are happening in the world right now. Some people are completely shocked, but this has been going on for centuries on end. And, a lot of us are saying things like self-care is also part of resistance and all of that stuff. But I'm thinking, do we all have not a collective, but do we all have a firm understanding of what self-care actually means for us? Or is it just another one of those things where we see online, it's like, yes, self-care, this is my self-care Sunday, catchy hashtags and things like that, but like, what does that actually mean and what does that break down to? If you ever come to a workshop of mine or met me in person and we've talked about these things, I always get the feedback. This is really helpful for me. Really mundane things that people talk about, like planning or a meditation and things like that, but it's just like people see me doing those things, or I talk about those things often enough that they're like, oh wow, I tried it because you said this. And it's because I have a very clear definition of what self-care means for me, and so I exude that and I'm an example of that. But that wasn't just me just picking up things online just because I've seen people do it and then doing it. Otherwise, it would not resonate the same way. I am very deliberate and I have a very clear understanding of what self-care actually means for me, so that it translates to other people and it resonates with other people, so that they can start picking up these mundane habits, so to speak, and they can start implementing it into their lives. So I'm going to start with my definition for self-care. If you've been following me online for some time now, you already know what my definition is, but for the sake of this video, let's repeat it again. Self-care is a right and responsibility to yourself first and foremost, and then to your respective communities, to know yourself, know better, and then do better. So now let's break down that definition a little bit. It is a right, yes, because you are here on this earth for a purpose, and in order for you to actualize your purpose, you need to be able to be well enough to do that. You need to have the capacity to do that, and so it is absolutely a right. If you are here, self-care is a right for you. It's a responsibility because once you become an adult, you become a responsible human being, and so self-care is your responsibility. It is no one else. With rights come responsibility. To whom much is given, much is required. So you have this right to take care of yourself, but you also have the responsibility to do it for yourself as well. And then it's a right and responsibility to your community, because we're not islands. Our jobs as people is to serve our community and show up for our community. And so in tandem with that, you taking care of yourself, you're also taking care of your community, because if you're your whole and healthy self, you are able to show up for your community in a way that fully supports them. But it also has to start with you first. You've heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You actually have to have water in your cup in order to offer it to somebody else. We are of service to our community, so once you figure out how to take care of yourself, you know that your responsibility is always to your community to take care of them as well. And now the next thing in the definition is to know yourself. Now, this is a key thing. When people think about self-care, they don't include the fact that self-care includes a lot of self-reflection and understanding who you are, to understand what you need to feel taken care of, what you need to feel loved, what you need to feel supported, all of those things. Self-care really starts with understanding who you are. And then the next step is to know better. And so that is where you reach out to community, you seek more opportunities to understand who you are, what else you need, where are you lacking, how can you grow? Because if you're not growing, you're dying. And so you want to be able to think about, okay, now I know who I am. How can I know better? How can I know more about who I am or what my purpose is in this life, etc., etc. And then the last step is to do better. So once you know, we've all heard that saying, when you know better, you do better. It's one thing to do these acts of care for ourselves, but it's another thing to position that in a tangible way to take care of my health, take care of my mental health, take care of my physical health, for me to be well enough to be in community, for me to be well enough for myself in order to realize my purpose, in order to serve my community, or in order to live my best life, in order to thrive, in order to survive in times like these. Now I wanted to talk a little bit more about what I mean when I say self-care isn't just a product or some services, because when we see the conversation about self-care right now, a lot of people think that it's either, on the one end, it's like getting your nails done, and if you knew me before this COVID stuff, I'd be getting my nails done. That was just something that I really enjoyed doing, but I did not consider the actual painting of my nails and the look of my nails to be self-care. It was the fact that I took the time to, like, this is time for myself. Somebody else was doing something for me. I was getting pampered, but also it was my me time. I knew that I had the funds to do it. I had set aside funds to do that specific activity. So it wasn't just the me getting my nails done and my nails look pretty, but it's also when you look good, you feel good. So it's a combination of those things. That's what I mean when I say that it's not just a product or a service. People talk about self-care like it's getting your nails done or taking a nap, meditation, and yoga. Those are all tools that can be a part of your self-care toolkit or arsenal, but that act in itself isn't self-care. It is what surrounds it, what you get from it. It is, what your intentions are doing that practice. It is how consistent you are in the practice. It is, what is it providing for you? It is all of those things, not just the actual tool itself or the product or the service, because those things are really just maintenance. If I just get my nail done one time and I feel good about it that one time, that is not a sustainable thing. Self-care is supposed to be sustainable for you. This is the perfect time to reevaluate what actual self-care looks like for you, because I'm a little hesitant when I see those self-care is resistant, but are we just doing the same pampering thing again? Or are we actually taking the time to learn and grow ourselves consistently on a regular basis and really reevaluate what our lifestyle is like, and is it conducive to our well-being? And then the last piece I do want to share is that, yes, self-care, but also know that part of self-care is knowing that you are also doing it for community. Yes, you want to be able to pour into yourself, show up and live your best life, but also know that we are not islands. We are in community. I think that if a lot of people practice self-care, we would not be in the situation that we're in right now. If a lot of people knew who they were, we would not be in the situation that we're in right now. History wouldn't continue to repeat itself. Yes, prioritizing your wellness. Yes, practice self-care, but also know that it is okay to reach out to community. It's okay to be in community with other people if you are just figuring it out. If you have realized that, the ways that you have been practicing self-care is not working, it's not sustainable, reach out to community, find the resources. This is where the investment comes in. This is where it's your responsibility to figure out the parts where you need to know better, figure out in the areas where you need to know better, and find the people, find the community that will help you know better and then hold you accountable to doing better. And so that is my word for today. I hope that that served you. I hope that you can take some of these tips and apply it to your life. Pay attention to the things that you might already be doing that are acts of self-care and really break it down. Does that fit into that definition? And what does that look like for you tangibly? And how can you sustain that? And of course, if you want more supports around that, you can always join my Prioritizing Wellness course, where I walk you through my peace model for self-reflection. The entire course is about reflecting in different areas of your life, how you are showing up, and ways that you can redefine what self-care looks like for you. I give you actionable steps for you to start or cultivate a system to make self-care sustainable in your lifestyle. If you want to learn more about the course, it is going to be all detailed down in the description box below. And of course, if you want to be a part of the tribe, all you got to do is subscribe, pull up a seat, grab your water, Say your piece in the comments below, and I'll talk to y'all real soon. Peace and love.